Unmuted.
Hello, my name is Isabella Perez, Recreation Leader for the City of Socorro. Thank you for joining today's meeting. Before the meeting begins, we would like to remind our guests to remove all hats and silence all electronic devices. No destructive behavior or outbursts will be tolerated, and violators are subject to ejection and possible prosecution.
Hola, mi nombre es Judy Rodríguez, secretaria de Planificación de la Ciudad de Socorro. Gracias por participar en la reunión de hoy. Antes de que comience la reunión, nos gustaría recordarles a nuestros invitados favor de quitarse los sombreros y silenciar todos los dispositivos electrónicos. No se tolerará ningún comportamiento perturbador ni exabrupto y los infractores estarán sujetos a expulsión y posible procesamiento.
Okay, good evening, council and staff. Today is March 25th of 2024. It's now 6:01 p.m. I call this meeting to order. Agenda item number 2, the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 4, public comment. Do we have any speakers signed up?
Item number 3.
I'm sorry, number 3, establishment of quorum.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Here.
Alejandro Garcia.
Here.
Mayor Ivy Avalos is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Rudy Cruz.
Present.
And Ivan Colombia Lobos is absent.
Thank you. Now moving on to agenda item number 4, public comment.
No speakers for public comment.
Thank you. At this time, there's no speakers. We'll be moving on to the consent agenda.
Motion to consent agenda. Second.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
Alejandro Garcia.
Aye. Do we have a quorum?
We do.
Okay, thank you. So we've excused all of our absent council members. At this time, we can move on to item number 6, correct?
Correct.
Okay, item number 6 is now a public hearing, and we'll go ahead and start this. This public hearing is the request for approval of a final plat resubmission for Socorro Logistics Center Unit 2 and variance for maximum height and parking reduction. Public hearing is now in session at 6:03 p.m.
No speakers.
Okay, as there are no speakers, we'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 7, which is the second reading and adoption on the request for approval of a final plat resubmission for Socorro Logistics Center Unit 2 and variance for maximum height and parking reduction. We have with us our Planning and Zoning Director, Ms. Lorraine Quimiro.
And we close the public hearing at 6:03.
And I'm sorry, public hearing is now closed at 6:03 p.m. My apologies.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Lorraine Quimiro, City Planner. For your consideration today, item 7 is Socorro Logistics Center Unit 2, final replat resubmission and variance requests. The property owner is East Lake Industrial LLC, Socorro Logistics Land LLC. Their representatives, Jorge Grajeda, is here with CEA. The property is over a little over 60 acres in size and zoned ICMUD, commercial, industrial, mixed use. The current land use is vacant, and in summary, the request is to approve a final plat resubmission for Socorro Logistics Center Unit 2 and a variance for the maximum height and parking reduction. City Council has already approved this resubmission of the final plat in February, but we wanted to bring this back as the applicant is requesting a variance for the maximum height and parking reduction. Planning and Zoning staff recommends approval of the variance request. At their Planning and Zoning meeting on March the 5th, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended that the variance height be a maximum height of 55 feet and the parking reduction for Building 1 be 179 stalls, and for Building 8, that's a typo, that should be Building 8 with 164 stalls. I'll go over the first portion quickly, as you've already seen it and approved the resubmission. This is next phase of the Socorro Logistics Master Plan. It's the northeast corner of Socorro Logistics Lane and Nuevo Hueco Tanks Boulevard. It is zoned ICMUD. You have ICMUD to the north, east, and west, and the south along Nuevo Hueco Tanks is the commercial C2, General Commercial Zoning District. These are pictures of the property taken from Socorro Logistics Lane and an aerial image showing the vacant land with the industrial buildings, that first phase of Socorro Logistics Unit 1. As proposed in the master plan, the building lot in question is building 1, initially proposed for one building on one lot, and with the resubmission, it was a minor of change to request the lot be split into 2 with the 2 buildings. And the variance requests were to allow for a maximum height of 55 for building 1 and building 2, building 8, apologies. And then the parking variance, with building 1 being 392,250 square feet, the estimated office space being 5% of that total footprint. They looked at the recommendations, their recommendations being a minimum of 87 minimum number of stalls and 125 maximum number of stalls, and they're providing 179 stalls for building 1. And with building 8, which is 476,281 square feet, proposing 164 stalls. This is way below our ordinance requirement, which is a little out of step and requires 1 parking stall for every 500 square feet of total leasable space, which we've noted and are going to try to capture in our code rewrite. With that, staff can answer any questions. Again, Mr. Grajeda with the CEA is available to answer any questions as well.
Would any member of council like to discuss or have any questions?
I got a comment.
Go ahead, sir.
Just for clarification and transparency, the only reason we didn't approve or brought this item to our last meeting was because there was a misunderstanding on dates, right?
It was just missed from the consent agenda to the regular agenda,
Okay.
but it had been on the consent agenda from not this meeting before, but the previous meeting.
Okay then. That was just my comment.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments on this item?
Ruben Reyes,
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
And Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Item passes. And we don't have any business to discuss for items 8, 9, and 10, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, would anyone like to make a motion?
Motion to delete items 8, 9, and 10. Second.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares. And Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 11. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares. And Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
At this time, we're going to adjourn this meeting at 6:09 PM.